Hey, 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 what is good in your world? Hello, happy Friday. Welcome to November. Glad you survived Halloween. What is good in your world? It's me, Dr. Andrea, here from home base on the French Riviera, saying what's up to all my people out there, all the peeps in the land of woo. Isn't Halloween a perfect time to really go into the mystical and the magical realms? What's up? It's good to see some of you tuning in. I love it. I love it. What is good in your world? What have you been up to? I've missed you, as usual. I've been seriously missing connecting with you because of being on the road so much. So I'm definitely curious to hear what kind of craziness you might have been up to in your own world, or maybe not such craziness, Hello, it's good to see Karen from Paris tuning in, one of our authors in our upcoming book, and Silvana Luna, also known as Laura Cassini, who is also being featured in our Magic and Miracles book, not as an author, but as an artist. What's up? It's so good to have you all here. Erin, nice to have you. Carol from Canada, and of course the lovely Sarah Brandis. We got to give a big what's up and woot woot to Sarah for completing the Venice Marathon. You are officially my shero. I can't imagine doing 2 marathons within a year's time. It's super crazy. But it's all good. I'm not gonna hate on you for it. It's just making me look like I'm a little bit of a slacker over here. What's up, Shaquille? It's been a long time. Good to see your name popping up. And Stefan Conradi, one of our authors as well. I have missed talking to you, Shelley Thomas, so it's nice to see your face pop up. This is the beginning of November, which means I'm just days away from my birthday. And it's weird. I seem to publish books all at this very time, finishing books that are very near and dear to my heart. Well, at least I have for the last 3 years running. So it's an exciting time for us over at Team Pennington because we are bringing some new voices to the world. And that excites me very, very much. What's up, Sinitra? Haven't seen you in a while. Good to have you here. One of the things that happened for me while being on the road, in the United States, teaching at 1440 Multiversity, then being in Denmark with some of our great friends, teaching at the Unfold Your Love event. Then I went off the map for a whole week in India, and I got the chance to really unplug. You know how it is, being without internet. But in addition to unplugging, I really got clear on my mission, my vision, why I believe I'm actually here on the planet. And to me, that's pretty exciting. It's exciting because fortunately, I happen to be at a point in my life where I can actually, I can be really honest, open, clear, and sincere about what I'm up to in the world and how I really believe that this is aligned with my mission, my purpose, my dharma, my raison d'être, like the whole reason that I'm actually on the planet. And so that is why I wanted to come on live today on this Friday to share some excitement with you. Just last weekend, or not quite the weekend, last week, I was in Bristol in the United Kingdom. It was my first time in Bristol, and my daughter and I had a fabulous time. We were supporting the beautiful Helen Rebello, who is our latest author at Make Your Mark Global. She has published this beautiful book, The Magical Unfolding, 8 Magical Processes for Peace, Potential, and Purpose. And I have to tell you, this book is a life changer. If you happen to be one of those people who gets to points in your life where you feel like, what am I doing? I need a guiding light or some sort of principles to really get down to who am I? Why am I here? How do I make sense of my life or the mess that I've made? I truly, truly believe that Helen's book, The Magical Unfolding, is for you. It's been super exciting for me because I've been able to see the reviews as they're coming in. So, I mean, obviously, I'm the publisher. I love Helen's work and I have loved it for a long time. But to read her stories, the reason this is, and yes, Anitra, you get a copy, girl. Get a copy right now. Right now it's on Kindle for just $2.99. Today's the last day that it's on Kindle for $2.99. But this is the reason I'm actually so passionate about it, is because it truly is one of those times when, as a publisher, I get to really be, I don't know, directive if I could. I mean, it's one thing if I'm promoting my own books, but to see and to read the stories and how Helen has masterfully put this book together, it's like a shining glory for a publisher. And let me tell you what I mean. Some of you may know that I run a company called Make Your Mark Global. We help light workers, healers, coaches, therapists get their message out to the world, improve their profile and their prestige in the world so that you can be seen, so that you can be found, so that you can be heard, and you can make a difference, an extraordinary impact, as we call it. We want to help our peeps have an extraordinary impact in the world. But we don't work with just anybody and everybody. And this year has been one of those years when it's been made so clear that I can only work with people who are truly not only heart-centered, but who are at a point in their lives where they really feel like what they are doing is part of their soul's mission. We're not your average publisher. We're just, that's our thing. But here's the thing. When you really step into a moment of your life where you say, I want to be living my highest truth. I want to bring forth what is in me to the best of my ability, living up to your potential. You know, these are some of the buzzwords. But there's a difference here, and it's a little bit subtle, but when you decide that you want to live up to your highest potential, in my opinion, that means that you're finally ready to acknowledge that your life is not all about your way or your ego. Instead, this is about understanding that you are a soul or a spiritual essence, whatever you want to call it, and that in communion with the divine, in harmony with the Tao or the laws of the universe, you can create, you can manifest, you can deliver beauty, excellence, products, services, whatever to the world. But notice that I say that this is a co-creation. This is a step where you decide that this isn't about just making money or being a hot shot or climbing up the ranks on, whatever bestseller list. This is about leaving a legacy and feeling truly proud of the work that you've put out. And that requires, I'm going to say it, to some people it's a naughty word, so get ready. If you really want to live your soul's highest purpose and your true calling, you have to surrender. Now, to some people, that sounds like a dirty word. It sounds like we're admitting defeat, and none of my strong sisters out there want to admit defeat. It sounds like we're giving up, we're waving that white flag of surrender. But in fact, surrender is actually about getting out of the ego and saying, not my will, thy will be done. Whether that's your higher power, your higher self, God, whatever. And that means that, especially if you're doing something in the creative realms, like creating a book or even a film, if there was an impulse in you to get a message out to the world, as soon as you say yes to that message, it's a matter of that idea, that impulse, to give it life, meaning to bring it into this physical realm, means that it's going to become a living being. And guess what? That means it has its own destiny. And that means, for any of you who consider yourselves kind of conscious parents, it means that you're not directing every little thing. You're allowing this new precious life being to unfold into its destiny with a little bit of guidance, of course. But in other words, we are vessels. We channel this information, this inspiration from the divine or from our guides, and then we bring it to the world. And that's exactly what happened for Helen. She had her original book proposal and her outline, which she shared with me last year, that I loved, or I guess earlier this year, or was it last year? Oh my God, it's been so long. But what she shared versus what she started to write versus what she actually turned in as her final manuscript, they're very different. And I can tell you, what she turned in originally was brilliant, but what we've actually released to the world is stunning. And I say that with all, true pride for Helen, because she went through bumps and twists and turns and burns, literally, along the way that caused different hiccups and pauses and stalls in her writing process. And yet, everything magically, miraculously, and mystically came together. So it was wonderful to be with her last week to celebrate the unveiling of this book, which she'd actually launched last year through a campaign called Publish-Sizer, which is a crowdfunding campaign to help authors raise money and raise awareness about their book idea, kind of testing it out to make sure would people actually want to read that sort of a book. And then through the crowdfunding, you get it done. So it was wonderful to be with her and to see an author step, somewhat tentatively, but boldly onto this path, this hero's journey, as we call it, to manifest this beautiful book into the world. So thank you, Sarah, for putting up the links. You can get it on Amazon in the US, the UK, India, Australia, Canada, all over the place. Get a copy of it. I think you will truly, truly be blessed. And of course, it makes a fabulous gift for anyone who's going through a midlife, whatever. It's a great book for you. So super excited about that because we put the finishing touches on Helen's book right when I got back from India. And the experience of working with Helen was like a mystical dream. I really feel like she's this little pixie that just has flitted onto the earth to spread and sprinkle magic dust on us all. So yes, Sinitra, you can get it on Amazon. Look up in the comments there. Sarah Brandes has shared the link. And wonderful to see you, Haifa. I got to meet up with you in California, and it's so awesome. So Haifa says, you think that this is the challenge. When we start to listen to our own voice and our own heart, the magic begins. For me, this is the challenge because this is the base for congruency. I agree with you 100%. And, that's what we were talking about at 1440, right? During the retreat, that this congruency means a matching up. And so if at the base, what's in your heart and in your soul, which is normally expressed through our desires, our wishes, our values, our sense of motivation, if that's our base, then what we live on this earth, what sprouts from that foundation, if we're really living in alignment with our truth, then it should be congruent, right? But so many of us, myself included, not pointing any fingers, so many of us go through life not living our truth, not speaking our truth, not acknowledging our truth, and even owning our voice. And so I think this is probably one of the reasons why my company, Make Your Mark Global, at least the publishing division, I can see now why it's taken off so dramatically. I think after doing my TED Talk and then sharing in this book, Heart to Heart, The Path to Wellness, that was the first time I shared my own personal story of how I got past depression and came out of the closet about being a very spiritually oriented person when I was in a very traditional medical and journalistic career where they didn't want to hear all that. They didn't want to hear about out-of-body near-death experiences. And so coming out with my own story in that group book and then later on that TEDx stage in Monte Carlo was a big deal for me. And I've said this before, I did it for myself because I knew that if I was going to appear on stages again, get back on TV, I didn't want to be what I was 15 years ago or how people perceived me 15 years ago. I wanted to come out with my truth, and that sense of being congruent with this is who I am, these are my values, and what I say has got to match up with my actions. So it is a challenge, but this is where the sweetness of life comes, in my personal opinion. So Stefan says, you think that our unfolding, we should not be afraid to leave something behind because something new and beautiful will be on our way. Yes. But isn't that what holds so many people back? Like, for you to step out, to leave a career, to sell a business, to speak your truth, to write a book, to go on stage, to leave a marriage, like all of these things that we are faced with, these choices that seem particularly scary when we're going through them. If we were really going to take those bold steps, it means that we're probably going to leave something behind, right? The career, the fame, the quote unquote security, which we all know is actually not really secure. But to your point, Stefan, if we can be courageous, then that's something new, that's something beautiful, will be able to unfold. But it really does need to come from that alignment, in my personal opinion. So this has been an interesting fall session for me because the dear Stefan Conradi is in 2 of my upcoming books, and I promised to unveil the final cover. Dun, dun, dun! I'm super excited because I believe, I'm just going to say it, I believe my design team is the bomb. They are so amazing. Huge shout out to Stefan and Andrea. It's another Stefan, or maybe it's Stefan, in Sarajevo. They are my design team, and they have created the final version of Helen's book, The Orgasm Prescription for Women, Time to Rise, my current book cover, I Love You, Me. They did Turning Points. They did Leslie Pine's beautiful book, which is over here. I have so many books. Yeah, look at this beautiful baby right here. Finding Joy Beyond Childlessness. I got to meet Leslie finally in person at Helen's book launch. They did Yvette Taylor's book, which is coming out soon, The Ultimate Self-Help Book. So I believe my design team, they're the best. I love them. They do amazing social media graphics for all of my authors. I love them. So when I told them about this new book, it's actually a book series. Oh my gosh, they've actually designed already 3 of the covers in this series, the initial mock-up. So what I noticed about my own journey is when I shared my personal story, I got free. But the cool thing was it was setting other people free as well. And with the work that I've done in trauma, addiction, eating disorders as a medical doctor and acupuncturist, I discovered that just by sharing our stories, and we don't always have to go public, by the way. You can just write in your journal if you want. But when we share our truth, it unlocks all kinds of energy and allows us to heal. And so this new book series that I'm launching with some amazing authors from around the world is called Life After Trauma. Breaking the Silence to Inspire Resilience. This is the My Life Rewritten series, book number 1, something that I've created and compiled with, that one has 14 authors from around the world, and they're the most amazing people. Oh my God. Like, I am the luckiest woman in the world. We have Funmi Moser, Gazit Haya and Kozi, Stefan Conradi, Karen Eek, Stina Mo Engelsrud, who also submitted some artwork for the back cover of this book, Anna Frosten, Carolyn Hake, Paul Luftenegger, David Morris, Gila Nehemia, Abby Pearsall, Marika Stassar, which I saw her, she came on. Hey Marika, I've missed you, it's been so long. Taz Thornton, and Joyce Wazirali. This is this book, Life After Trauma. And I am so excited. So excited. And yes, Stefan, it is so awesome. Thank you for the congratulations, Shelley. Don't worry, we're going to be singing your praises for your book as well when it comes. It's been a labor of love. We've had a few twists and turns with bringing this baby out, but I am so proud of all of our authors. So what's cool about it, I've said this before in another one of our live videos. One of the things that was interesting is one of our authors, well, actually, we got a lot of artists. I'm not going to just say one. Many of the people who are in my tribe are artists. And Stina Mo Engelsrud, who is in this book, she has been painting as a way of her own personal therapy, and now she's helping other people. And when I looked at some of her artwork, I was blown away because there's one particular painting that she did that, okay, so you see this image here, right? You see life after trauma. We've got this archway leading us from the dark and the cloudiness into this beautiful garden with the light of the sun coming over the mountains. Well, when I saw Stina's artwork right there, with these two children holding hands, being showered with what I see as sort of healing light or mist with all these flowers, and this was part of her own healing journey, I was like, oh my gosh, it looks like we've walked through that archway and we find these two beautiful children healed in that shower of light. So her image is also appearing on the back cover. Is that awesome? Or what? I'm super excited. This is unprecedented for us because, I believe all of the books that my team create are a work of art in and of themselves, but then to be able to have this artwork on the back, so awesome. So I'm super excited about that. I had to share this with you because, how often do you get to share such amazing news with the world? Okay, well, for me, it does kind of come a few times a year, but I'm super excited because as of next week, I am interviewing each of the authors in the book. So you'll be able to get to know them, get to hear a little bit of who they are, what motivated them, how did they get so bold as to finally share, some of them for the very first time, these experiences. So life after trauma is, pretty much what it says. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry. Life after trauma is really this collection of people who are breaking their silence about things that happened in their life so that they can inspire resilience. What I noticed when I wrote my book, The Orgasm Prescription for Women, I found that a lot of people, men and women, were hiding in shame a lot of their past experiences that they just had not yet healed from. And that blocks many people from fully experiencing the richness of life. And yet there's other people that I've worked with in my career as a healer, as a doctor, where I've seen that not everybody gets stuck by their trauma. Not everybody gets stuck in this loop of PTSD and hiding and shame. Many people do go beyond their traumas. They get their healing through a variety of modalities and sometimes weird spiritual experiences, but then they are able to live a life that is full, that is vibrant, that is alive, that is juicy, that is delicious, that may even be orgasmic. And so this idea of how the power of our ability to speak our truth, our ability to to verbalize and give new context or perspective on the things that happened in the past can help us heal and transform. It is a transformative process. To, even if you're just going to do journaling on your own and never share it with the world, it helps so much on so many levels. And so being able to do this in the book is awesome, because now people around the world will be able to recognize that there are many ways to heal from trauma. And even if you've had terrible things happen to you, there is a happy life for you on the other side, through that archway into the light. So super excited to be bringing these authors to you. So please do be on the lookout for all of these interviews that will be coming out with the authors, and you'll be able to get copies of the book before the holiday season, perfect for gift giving. And what can I say? I'm just like super proud of them all. Thank you, Carol. She was a contributor to Time to Rise. I'm so glad that you're here. I am super excited, and I'm glad that you like the cover, Karen. You know, since this is part of our journey, right? Sharing the beauty of these books with the world and your story as well. So I'm not going to show you. Well, I guess I could show you again the Magic and Miracles, but Magic and Miracles is still being tweaked. We've made some like final additional adjustments. So I'll have to unveil that cover for you in another Facebook Live or YouTube Live. But I really wanted to bring up these ideas because earlier today, the person who introduced me to Helen Rebello is my friend Derry Llewellyn Davies. And we had a meeting today because we are launching, we're launching another big project together. Some of you have already seen it. It's Diamond Life Design. I wrote about it in my last book, and we launched a beta version of our online membership. Well, we have honed and refined the vision for what we want to do with Diamond Life Design. We really want to empower people to get super clear on their values, the feelings that they want to experience, the way that they really want to live their lives in that full congruency and alignment. And we had a meeting today. I was telling Derry about my upcoming TED Talk. He and I have both done TEDx's, and his TEDx, actually, you should check it out, is called F the Fear. It's not real anyway. So you'll have to tune in and check out what the F star stands for. It's not just what you think it stands for. But one of the cool things about the way Derry looks at F the Fear is that it's not that we're, he does crazy things. He climbed Mount Everest. He was on Everest when the earthquake hit, a couple of years back. He's done 6 back-to-back marathons across the Mojave Desert in a week's time. He's climbed all these amazing mountain peaks, done an Ironman, all these crazy things. But he's not, in his own words, he's not immune to fear creeping up. He is still human. He may be a little crazy, but he admits to being human. And so this idea that just because we're faced with fear, just because there are risks involved with whatever project we're going into, that could be starting a new relationship, starting a new company, leaving a relationship, launching a speaking career, getting your first book done. You will, as a human being, if you're not a robot and you haven't had a frontal lobotomy, you're going to experience fear. But that doesn't mean that you should stop or that you should overanalyze the possibilities. Because when you face the fear, when you free the fear, and when you finally just go ahead and move forward, you may find that the universe provides so much extra sustenance, support, guidance, and maybe even superpowers. That's what's really possible for us. And so we were talking about our upcoming launch of the Diamond Life Design online program and our live events in 2019. And it just really got me thinking, wow, this is a time where the people in my life we all seem to be at this point where we're like, we want to live with more gusto. We want to live with more authenticity. We want to live with more passion and joy. And we're also, some of us, getting to an age where we realize, I need to make this count, you know? And so I say all of that because if you are in a position right now where maybe you're looking at some of the areas of your life that might seem a little bit scary, and yet you know you need to move forward, take this as, I don't know, a challenge to move forward and see, as you take that first step onto that hero's journey, just see if the universe doesn't meet you with some sort of confirmation or affirmation that you're on the right track. Derry and I were talking about how we each, in our own ways, have refused the call. So how many of you out there have heard of Joseph Campbell? He wrote a book called The Hero with 1,000 Faces. And he's the one who most of us talk about, the hero's journey, right? And if you look at major novels, books, films, TV shows, they all have this very, I want to say formulaic, but not in a bad way. There's a certain formula that the world's best writers and cinematographers have relied upon, and it's called the hero's journey. So all the way back into fairy tales, all the way back to Cinderella and beyond, and up to Harry Potter and Star Wars, if you look and analyze the journey and each of these steps that our main characters take, it is the hero's journey. And unfortunately, the first time we get that call to, go out and slay that dragon, or there's this new call into the unknown, many of us say no. I did. We refuse the call. And it's, again, you look at all these major films and it happens a lot. The hero refuses the call the first few or several times. And Stephen Conradi, who's in our book, both books, Magic and Miracles and Life After Trauma, he says, I refused a lot of calls until I had to listen and react. And that is what happens for the majority of us. We get to a point where we have no choice. We have to listen because our soul or the universe or the life just smacks us up against the head enough times where it's like, honey, it's time for a change. And it would be nice if in my life I didn't need to get smacked. But I think I'm one of those hard-headed humans. I was told very, very early on that my voice, my singing voice, that is, had a certain kind of quality to it. But like most of us humans, I was like, yeah, but I'm not as good as insert famous R&B singer, jazz singer, neo-soul singer. I was comparing myself to other people. And so I refused the call many, 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 many times. And then it's like creeping back up again. It's like all of a sudden I'm getting more and more of these impulses and these external calls to sing, girl. It's time for you to sing. So I've said yes. And yeah, it's scary as heck because I'm like, first of all, I got so much on my plate running this company, raising my daughter, doing my thing on my spiritual journey. And now I'm singing again? Wait, what? But that be that as it is. And with Derry, I remember when I met him years ago, a few of us who met him at this transformational leader thing, we looked at him like, how is it you're doing all of these crazy things? Like multiple endurance athletic things, raising, his kids, his 3 girls being fully present, plus his company based in the UK and then advising countless other companies. We're like, how? How is this possible? And he has his own system. Well, people have asked me the same thing. They're like, how is it you're doing all this? You're flying around the world, you're leading workshops, you're speaking on other people's stages, you're leading your own retreats, writing books, publishing books, mentoring, all of this. And the way that I do it is I have a system. And when Derry finally opened up and told us about his Diamond Life framework, I'm like, gosh, it's so similar to how I've lived my life. you should really bring it out to the world. So I told him he should, and then he said no. Yep. Sorry about that, guys. Hello, Silvana Luna, Laura Cassini, one of our beautiful artists. I see you're on the bus, but please tune in to the replay. Yeah, when I first told Derry, like, dude, you should bring this out, he was like, no. I don't want to be in the personal development world, and I'm definitely not in that spiritual woo-woo camp, until he was on the side of a mountain, and the mountain started to shake, i.e. Everest, when the earthquake hit. So it was one of those things where he refused the call until he could refuse no more. And so Shamikia says, you've been refusing calls since you were a kiddo. How much longer are you going to do that? That's the question, right? So I hope that you will investigate and explore. One of the things I was writing about in this new book, Magic and Miracles, is this concept that has really been kind of working my brain is, and I'm going to leave you with this because I'm not going to stay on here for very long today. But the question that I have for you is this. Are you someone who believes in destiny? Do you believe in fate? Do you believe in karma? So, in other words, the question is, do you think that some things are unfolding in your life which are absolutely destined to be happening in your life? Or, dun dun dun, are you using the laws of the universe or the law of attraction to manifest things in your life? Do you see the difference? Like, so if we say that we believe that through our visualization and affirmations and feeling these deep desires to manifest things, that it's going to happen? Or is it possible that things are happening to us because it was part of our destiny? You know, we didn't have a whole lot of time to get into this today, but as I was talking to Derry about this earlier on today, it was like he recognized that when he finally had to say yes to his calling, if you will, the sharing this Diamond Life design thing, he realized that, okay, it was a calling because it was part of his destiny. You know, he got to that recollection or that recognition on his own. So I'm just throwing this out there for you to investigate. Are you working the law of attraction, or are the laws of the universe working you? So as Stefan says, he believes that the law of attraction is a natural law, so it's obvious that it works. But the question is, what is your role in it working? Is it working because it was part of your destiny? Like here, like wait till you read, like Stefan has two stories. He has one in Magic and Miracles and one in Life After Trauma. But when you read some of what he's sharing, you're like, whoa, like what's unfolding in your life? It seems like it was destiny, which means you weren't like actively choosing to manifest this. You know what I mean? But anyway, we're not going to get to the conclusion of that, I don't think, in particular. But I do want to show you the cover. So I'm going to pop it up here. So there is, oh, and that's not even the right cover. Oh, gosh. Sorry, guys. We changed the font. mybad.com. I'll find it for you. There it is. Here it is. This is the other book, Magic and Miracles. And it's real life stories from the edges of logic and science. And I'm excited about this book because once again, we have some amazing authors, some of whom you've already probably seen some of my interviews with, and some are new. So we have Charlotte Banff, Stefan Conradi, Trude Dibendal, Karen Eek, Helena Goldstein, Gita Winter-Graugard, Diane Haworth, Malin Hedlund, Caroline Hake, move this over so I can see better, Elspeth Kerr, Paul Luftenegger, Ninette Summer, Miriam Thiel, Taz Thornton, Margareta Tosi, Lena Heiselberg-Vong, Karina Virginia, Joyce Wazirali, and Kimberly Wright. So this is going to be exciting. Cannot wait to bring this book to you, because I have to be honest, some of the stories in this baby, they kind of blew me away. I mean, and I have admittedly come into the light and the land of woo, but some of these stories are they are mind-blowing, mind-expanding. So my friends, I hope that you will explore these questions along with us, because I definitely believe that these experiences that many of us have, whether you want to talk about them as being coincidences or life smacking you upside the head or signs from God or the universe, the reality is that there are so many other forces that are generally working for our good. They're working to bring us the best that the universe has to offer. I believe that if we can be more conscious and tuned in, we can start to work in concert with the laws of the universe. Whether you want to call it the law of attraction and all of that stuff, I don't know. But what I do know is, if we have the conscious intention to live our best, sometimes we do got to do a little karmic cleaning, cleaning up some of the messes that we may have made when we were younger, or at times in our lives when we were less evolved, maybe even some past life stuff. But we can get to a point where we are working in alignment with our highest and best ideals, intentions, and our highest self. And you'll read in these books about angels, about divine intervention, truly miraculous stuff that people have manifested that you're like, how? What? Wait, what? And to me, that just tells us that if one person has had these experiences, then more of us can. And what I know about the brain is that these mystical experiences, out of body, near death light, going into the light, seeing angels, hearing things, our brains are wired for that. So what would happen if we deliberately chose to tune ourselves as an antenna or as an instrument? I personally have felt like when I was a kid, I really, really had to hide the fact that I had these dreams and precognitions and that I knew things before they happened. People thought I was weird. And so I chose to kind of turn it off. I didn't see the value in it. In fact, I just felt like it made me a weirdo. But over the years, I've realized that there's so many of us who are empaths, who are high sensory processors, highly sensitive people, clairsentience, clairaudience, clairvoyance. There's so many other psychics out there. And when I was a kid and I started to hear that other people had these abilities and that it wasn't weird, in fact, hearing that even like the FBI and the CIA were hiring psychics and had their own development programs to try to see if they could train people to have better ESP, I realized, okay, so maybe it's not such a bad thing. I just don't know how to use it well. And I never read the comic books, like the X-Men whole series. But as a kid, I thought, wouldn't it be awesome if there was like a university you could go to learn how to use your superpowers? Like, that would be so cool. Like, that's what I wanted. I wanted to grow up and go to a place where I could be trained on how to use my superpowers. And whether it's destiny or fate or law of attraction, I have manifested it. I am currently working with a small group of people, light workers, healers, psychics, empaths, who want to do exactly that. They want to spend some time consciously, intentionally focusing on tuning up their instrument, becoming better at listening to your heart, following your intuition, tuning into the dreams and the visions that you receive, and lining up your life according to that. So earlier this year, when we launched our burnout recovery series and the attunement process mindfulness meditation course, I really discovered that this idea of resilience, the ability to bounce back after life's challenges, the drama and trauma and tragedies of life, resilience is a superpower. You know, your ability to just dust the dirt off your shoulders and keep it moving, and maybe even rise up even stronger, you know, Wakanda forever, right? Wouldn't it be cool if you could take the energy that life blows at you and transform it into more power? So that's what the stories in each of these books, Life After Trauma and Magic and Miracles, is about. And our superhero membership is where we will be training you in how to heighten your superpowers, heighten your ability to recover from stress, recover from burnout, prevent burnout, recover from illness. It's exactly what I've always wanted. And if you'd like to join me, I am doing a free taster session, if you will. You can join me. Let's see if I can put up this link for you. On November, what is it? Let me remember. November 21st at 7 p.m. here, Paris time. Sorry guys, I'm over here choking and gasping. So November 21st at 7 p.m. I am hosting a 90-minute, totally free, superpower mindfulness meditation session to help you quiet down the storms of chaos in your mind and your brain, tune into love and compassion and creativity so that you can heighten your superpowers of resilience and intuition and healing. So we're getting together. Thank you for putting up the free taster link. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. I will add that. It's a kind of a weird thing. It's rcl.ink /PLU, and the L is uppercase. It's case sensitive. I know it's a weird link for you, but you can join me there. I'll do a little bit of teaching. I love to go into the neuroscience of how this body and brain work so that you can tune up your physical instrument as best as possible. And then I will lead you in a guided group meditation where we can all tune into these mystical, magical powers to enhance our superpowers of resilience and healing and intuition. So I look forward to having you join me for that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I've been wanting to do it, and then you'll see that this is something that we're going to be doing on a monthly basis within our private superhero membership. You get access to my mindfulness meditation course, the attunement process meditation, when you join that. But I want to give you a taste of what it can feel like, because the feedback from people who've tuned in for my live sessions where I lead you through the attunement process, we've had people experience healing, rushes of energy, new clarity, visions galore. I think probably because one of my superpowers is I'm clairsentient. I have like the ability to have clear senses, sight, vision. I see visions. I see potential. I see pathways. I hear things, voices. I'm not schizophrenic, I promise you. I have been tested. No, but I remember the very first time that I admitted to a psychiatrist, you know, when I was going through parts of my own depression and whatnot. I just felt like, you know, all of this depression and anxiety, and yet I was having all these impulses and dreams and visions. I felt very unsettled. And one of my doctors recommended a particular psychiatrist. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to admit to all the craziness that's in my head. And if they have to put me in a hospital or medicate me, so be it. And do you know, I sat down with this man and gave him like the full version. And he just kind of nodded, looked at me, and was like, "You're not crazy." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And this is a doctor in the DC area who also worked at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, very highly credentialed. And he said to me, "Andrea, you know the kind of clients I work with in Baltimore." He worked at another hospital where people are, I hate to use the term crazy, but if you really wanted to think about what we see in movies and what we think is cuckoo, that's so. He said, "Do you think I know what crazy looks like?" And I'm like, "Yeah, and you're looking at it." And he said, "No, you're not crazy." And he said, "Do you not know that you're psychic?" That was like, boom! Lights went off, mind was blown, mic was dropped. I was like, did he just say psychic? And I was just, I had no words. I had no words. Because I'm thinking, how can this very reputable psychiatrist use that word? And as we continued these sessions, he helped me come to recognize, acknowledge, and accept that some of the abilities I have just hadn't been managed well. For one, I kept trying to hide them and stuff them and push them away, and I was judging them, staying in self-judgment. And all I can say is that that is one of the most pivotal moments for me, because so many things were made clear about who I am and all of that stuff. So I'm saying all of that to say that having these abilities of being clairsentient, clairaudient, clairvoyant, it was a little bit weird to admit. I can't believe I'm here live saying it out loud. But as soon as I was able to just own it, I found that the universe was sending me more and more people who either had those same abilities, and I could glean understanding from them, well, how do you use it? Well, how do you protect yourself? Well, how do you know what's yours and not other people's, because you can pick up so much radio frequencies. And so learning this over the last decade, I feel pretty confident that between me and some of the people in our tribe, the other experts, we can now get together on a monthly basis, share some insights and some learning, do some group healing and meditation, and really focus on heightening our ability to be resilient, to help our body and brain discharge negativity, trauma, illness, whatever negative energy that comes our way, so that we can be our best, so that we can live our best life. So I hope that you'll join us November 21st, 7 o'clock Paris time, 6 o'clock in London. What does that turn that into? 1 o'clock Eastern, right? So join us for this, because it's totally free. You can sign up and join me. You'll get information. We'll send you a link just before we go live so that you can join us on Zoom. It's going to be, I think, very, very worth your time. So my friends, I have been here running my mouth enough for this Friday. I'm so grateful for your presence in my life. I'm so grateful that you show up, that you share these broadcasts. If there's someone else in your life who has been labeled a weirdo or highly sensitive or too sensitive, share this with them so they know they're not alone and they're not a weirdo and you're not a freak. And I'm just grateful, just so grateful that we can all come together, accept who we really are, share our stories of resilience, and start spreading more light and love and acceptance into the world. So thank you all for being here. I look forward to seeing you live on the 21st. I will do my best to come out live next week in between all of the author interviews for these books. Super excited. If you have any other questions, you can always find me online at makeyourmarkglobal.com or innatevitality.com or andreapennington.com or realself.love. Drop me a line, send me an email, and if there's something I can answer for you, I will do my utmost. And if you are just in need of healing, maybe you're not ready to develop your superpowers, but you need some healing, be there on the 21st so that we can send out these healing vibes of love and resilience to you. Okay, my friends, I wish you a fabulous, fabulous weekend. Remember, you are a gift to the world. So share your presence with passion. Much love. Bye.